subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. As I always say, subscribing helps, watching videos, and liking and commenting all helps me out. But today is the 1996 Ford Thunderbird LX 4.6 overhead cam. Today we are replacing the radiator. As you can see right here, this radiator is so old. It's not as brittle as it was when it was hot, but it first blew a hole out of the radiator right there, and then when I went to take the hose off, literally the part that extends out here was brittle and broke off. That's where the damage was. I have a new one, which I got from AutoZone. You can get them from AutoZone for $134.99, or you can get it from O'Reilly's $130.99. But I would prefer the Duralast brand over the Murray. But here's the part number, B1551. Let's go ahead and... It's packaged pretty good, like most typical radiators are. Get a nice big thick rubber band. And then here's the bad boy. Okay, we got a installation guide, just in case you're not for sure. Then over here we have the new, they're actually Spectrum Premium. These are for your transmission lines. Got new O-rings in there, which is good. And then here's your, this one actually turns. It's to drain your radiator, which is nice. I'll probably unscrew it and put a little bit of this anti-seize on it, because over time these little plastic, these actually get pretty seized up in there. But here's your bottom outlet, and then here's your top over here. And you got the two spots here that actually come with the metal clips for the bolts. And then here's your little inlet to your reservoir. And it looks like, and we got a Spectrum Premium. Let's go ahead and lift this up. You always want to look at your radiators before you go and install them. Got the correct stickers on it. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit the bottom. Made in Canada. Haha. So we got a North American part here. Made in Canada. Ain't that lovely? It's not a Chinese part. I believe the Murray is made in China, so that's why I went with that. Takes about 3.5 gallons of antifreeze, which I bought the SuperTech Preluted 5050. I bought this because it's cheaper. And the only reason I got that is to make sure that the coolant system and everything's good. There's no leaks, because I don't want to buy the expensive coolant for it, which I will at a later date. But I want to make sure the system is good and tight. The temperature works, fans work, water pump, everything. Because everything on this car is original except for, well, I thought the coil packs. Nope, coil packs are still original. I think that alternator is the only thing that's been changed on this car. I did get a newer intake on it, a newer fuel rail. They were both used from junk ones. And I will be getting, in the next video, I got it right here, which this part is very hard to get to because it's discontinued. But this is the cool heater coil, which I got. And I have one of the new heater coil hoses that runs to here. I just need to get the heater core hose for here. And as you can see, I got a temp fix because at the time I didn't have a hose. So I just got me a piece of PCV pipe that can withhold up above 288 degree temp, and then I just connected it between two hoses. But back to actually what we're doing here today, which is reattaching the hoses, which I checked them. They're still good. They're still squeezable. They're not hard, brittle. I'm not getting a bunch of stuff on my hands as I do it because they're breaking apart. Just a little dirty. Yeah, and you can see how dirty this car is underneath. Major oil leak in the oil pan, which is going to be kind of difficult to get to because this nice big frame is right here, and the oil pan, as you can see, starts here and goes to here, so it'll be having to lift the engine out when we do that, which I'll have to get an engine hoist for that, unless I can unbolt this. But in order to unbolt that, I'd have to take the rack and ping out, and that's a lot. It would be easier just to unhook a couple motor mounts and pull the engine up just enough to get the oil pan out. But if you're wondering where the tube is, let's see. Okay, yeah, right there in the center where this hose is, that is where this radiator hose, lower radiator hose, hooks up to. And then up there somewhere, it's been a while since I've taken this apart, but let's see if I can get my tripod to hold the phone and not fall over like it's trying to do. Okay, let's see. Can get my finger up here. Yeah, just back there. So pull it a little bit this way. Okay. Oh, it was nice 80 degrees yesterday, and now today it's a lovely high 50. So I'll probably drop this in from the top, which I believe that's how I took it out. right back. Nope. There it is. Bam. Oh. Alright, this one, as you can see, it's a long one. Should work. I hope. I hope it's not too long. But I'll show you where the hole is. Right there. And that is what I'm trying to fish. Boom. Okay, let's see if I can get you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. Yes, perfect. Okay. Now I gotta get my hand up there. Jesus. Well, maybe this hole doesn't line up. Okay. As with any flathead type screw, it's hard to keep the flathead in the socket while you tighten. As soon as I get this tight enough, I can remove my hand, which will help me be able to stabilize this a little bit. Little turns. I don't think this flathead is actually thick enough. It's only a 1/4, and I think almost a 1/2 inch size fits in there perfect. But I don't have my miniature. I want to make sure this is tight. Ah, darn it! It's not even on the hose. Ah. Lord, oh Lord, not even on the hose. Well, you get to see some of the fun issues. Get on the hose. So I don't think this is going to work going through this hole. So let's go back to this. I can't even get my hand up through that way. Oh man, this is a pain. Let's see if I can finger tighten this. Yeah, I can finger tighten it. Is it on the hose? Yes, it is. It's right where it needs to be. Okay. Make sure this is... Nope. Oh, I need to bring this down. Okay. Get in there. There we go. Got my ratchet, screwdriver. Okay. Oh. Okay, that bad boy's tight. All right. Let's go to the top. Grab my keys. Don't want to forget those down here. Okay, and then the other connection. Oh, can I even? Yeah, don't even give me the option to turn the light on. Nope. And then the other connection is, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here. I'm gonna get my light on and then we can continue. Okay, there's where the other hose needs to go. So to get better access to this hose, we need to remove the battery. So go ahead and get you guys propped up here. There we go. All right, now that looks, I don't think it's an 11. No, 11's way too big. 3/8 maybe? Nope, smaller than a 3/8. 5/16. Yes, 5/16. So let's go ahead and disconnect the positive. First, let's untighten it. Okay. Alright. I always disconnect the negative first. That needs to be loosened a little bit more. Do apologize if this video is a little bit long, but I want to make sure I go through every step. And installing it is the same as removing it. Okay, hold that out of the way. Get the battery out. Okay. I need to go set this on my Whoa. Got a milk crate to set it on because I didn't want to set it directly on concrete. So let me get you set up here. Okay, come on. Now we have easy access. Well, easier. Get this clip here. There we go. It's caught. Okay. This clip is a pain in the butt. Let me get my vice grips. Get it on. Right. Ah, darn it. Come on, get on there. I'm loosening a little bit. No one ever said a Ford was easy to work on. Ah, not even on there straight. Come on. Okay. Go ahead and tighten this down with my hand. Tighten it some more. There we go. Now we're on. clamp and then untighten. And boom, connected. Next step is disconnecting. Let's get this up over. Go get the negative and positive up over the power pump. Next step is unhooking the top right here, unhooking this from the, okay. Don't remember the size, so we're gonna go through the guessing game here. It's not a 3/8. Could it? Nah, definitely ain't a 5/8. Tools closer. Let's try an 11. Not bigger than 11. Okay. 13 maybe? Not too wobbly, so it's more of a 12. And here's my 12. Yeah, it's not a 12. Oh, maybe it is. Are we? No, we're not. So we're a 13. Okay, that's tighten. There we go. Should get loose enough to where you can untwist it with your hand. And then it just pulls out. But you can leave it in because you've got to also disconnect the bottom line, which, let's get you aim for that. Okay, what am I even looking at here? Oh, I'm gonna pause here and come back so I can get my camera flipped around because I just noticed I got the lens down here in the bottom. Okay, can we see? Yes, we can. All right, then the next one is right here. And just an advice, if these are really rusted, you're going to want to spray them down really good with some penetration fluid and try to brush it off. So let's go ahead and untwist this. Okay. Back those off a little bit, and we're losing fluid. Okay, so keep that in there because you will lose transmission fluid. Let me get my bucket. So we drip, it drips in there. My rag. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and install the new transmission line on the new radiator. Radiator. Let's go ahead and get this open. Nah, my bench ain't free, so get you guys. Thanks for being patient. Okay, there's that one. Let's go ahead and get these installed. Got my adjustable wrench. Okay, let's get the installation out. Kind of look at this together. This tripod sucks, but it does its job. Okay, let's try this again without knocking the camera over. So, The oil cooler material used is softer than the transmission line fittings. Please use a maximum of 10 pounds-foot torque when tightening the fittings. This will ensure that there's no damage used to the oil cooler lines or threads. So you always want to double check this. So 10 foot-pounds, no more, which, you know, I can probably do with. And this little O-ring goes inside. So just go ahead and pop it in there like that. They'll go all the way in when you put in your new, when you put your lines in. Okay, then go ahead and thread these in with your finger. For the top one, same thing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my socket set and I'm going to get my torque wrench and we're going to torque these down, and I'll be see if you can see this. This is 3/8 and the size is 5/8. So we're going to, oh, don't lean on the box. Unloosen this. We're at 0 and we need to go to 10. So, and then zeroed it out, and that is 10 foot-pounds. Then tighten your nut down here at the bottom. And tighten. Be easy, because this is a plastic fitting. You hear that click? We're at 10. And then the same for the top one. That's all you got to tighten them. Alright. That's all installed. Get your radiator. And I know it's brand new, but we're going to make sure everything flows good. Get the water hose. Let's go ahead and get on jet. Well, actually, I'm going to unhook this. Hook the hose in there. Well, that's leaking there. Let's see. Hold that. No leaks there. Water's coming out this end. No leaks in the back. All right, radiator sound. Get all the water out. I always do that to test, and that's a good way to test used ones if you pull one from like pull apart or something. Get your new radiator over here and get her ready, because this is going to be a quick out and a quick in, because I don't want to lose too much transmission fluid. Just get you propped up so you can watch. Focus. Okay. Quick in, quick out. Dry my hands off. Top one. Bottom one. on it. There we go. And then work these bad boys in. Whew. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get these in, work these in, and then I'll be back. Okay. Quick tip, back this portion right here that you thread in, back that as far as you can back here, and then push the new O-ring in using your transmission line. And then once you do that, you can get the line all the way in. And then you should be able to get it lined up. There we go. And then get it lined up and start threading it in. And then tighten them till they're snug. Don't overdo it, because you definitely don't want to strip these out or over tighten it to where you pinch that O-ring where it kind of blocks that hole, because that hole is not real big, and then the transmission fluid isn't gonna. But I will advise at least buy one bottle of transmission fluid, because you do lose all the transmission fluid that is inside the transmission cooler. I'll go ahead and tighten this one down. Almost there. And then one turn. There we go. Top one's in, top one's tight. All you gotta do is work on the bottom one, and I'll be back with that. All right, got the bottom hose attached down here. Got both the transmission lines attached. Now, the next step is getting these braces back on. I did not mark these when I took them off. Okay, yeah, this one definitely is over here. Ah, there's the hole. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we just got to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. Get the hole lined up. Actually, before I get that screwed in there, go ahead and put some anti-seize on it. Just a little bit. Okay. Thread it in as far as you can by hand. If you use the anti-seize and clean up the threads, you should be able to thread it all the way in. Then all you have to do is tighten it. All right, but don't tighten it all the way down, because you want to make sure you can get this other one in. So go ahead. Okay. This is bent, so we need to straighten it out. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. As you can see, that's not straight. Just go ahead and get the vice grips, close down. That look tighter. Okay. And okay. Almost. Okay. And a little bit more. There we go. Now we're nice and straight. And get her in there. Line it up with the hole. There we go. Okay, holes lined up. A little bit of anti-seize. And thread it in. If I remember right, this one was a little tough getting out. There we go. Sometimes you need to work it back and forth to get it. Okay. And these are 13 millimeter too. You want to tighten these down snug. A ratchet would be faster, or a ratchet socket, whichever. Okay, one more. Okay, that's nice and snug on that side. Snug this one up. You're gonna have to hold the negative out of the way, or you can use the other end of the open end socket. Oh, I'm loosening it. Bright one there, bud. Almost. Alright, now she's snug. Okay, next is the fan. Get that bad boy back in. Okay. This is the tricky part because you got to get it past some lines here. And then make sure you line up where the bottom portions sit into the radiator brackets. Whoa, don't want that spilling everywhere. Kind of get tools out of the way. Okay, this side is in. Now we just got to get this side in. And while I'm at it, go ahead and plug the fan in. Okay, fan's plugged in. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on these bolts because they're a little crusty. This just makes life much easier in the past and in the future if you got to get these bolts off. Thread it in. by hand. And get the other one. Do the same thing. A little bit of anti-seize. You don't got to put a whole lot because it'll spread as you turn it. Okay, got her in. I'm going to pause it right here and I'll be back while I go get the socket because I won't be able to get a wrench in there. And these bolts are 5/16. And we're just going to snug them up. Might have to hold your socket until it gets tight enough to where you can do it one-handed. Don't over tighten it because you don't want to crack the plastic. Okay, nice and tight. Okay, can you see me from over here? Yeah. And then do the same for this one. Because the plastic's soft, so if you over tighten it, you'll snap it. And you don't want to do that because the fan's plastic and the part you're tightening down to is plastic. And then the next thing is connecting this hose here. Slide that right back on. Get your vice grips or pliers, whichever one you got. Vice grips, you know, they work good for this kind of stuff because you can loosen them and tighten them as you're going. Okay. Loosen it, need to go up a little bit. There we go. Get that on. Release, bam. Done. Okay, next is we got to attach the upper radiator hose. Again, test it. Make sure you squeeze the ends. Make sure there's no cracks. Everything looks good. Same thing on this side. Always inspect it. Make sure there are no tear holes. Still soft. Well, not too soft, but it's still kind of soft and firm, so that works. Need to get that back on there. Then attach to the thermostat housing. And then attach to the upper radiator. Okay. Make sure you have clearance from the belt. The last thing you want is the belt to be rubbing on the pulley itself. And right here, we need to loosen. This because it's a little tight. Okay. I do like these clamps a little bit better, the ones you can tighten by hand, than the actual ones that come with the car. Because these you can make sure they're tightened and you'll know if you need to replace them. These other ones over time they lose their tension because, you know, metal heats up, cools, heats, cools, heats, cools. The molecules in the metal get weaker the more you heat and cool it. But there is a way to make them get stronger, but normally they just get weaker. So I'm gonna have to pop this off again because I need to turn this more towards me. So again, the vice grips. I'm gonna have to open these up pretty good. And this is the clamp I'm talking about, will lose its tension over time. But these ones are still okay, so that's why I'm reusing them. Okay, get it on there. Tighten it up. Clamp it. Get your hose on. Work, release. Tighten it some more. Clamp. Almost got it. Okay. This is where a good old pair of regular pliers would help tremendously when you're having trouble like this. Okay, there we go. Get it, release it, bam. It's not on straight. That's the thing about these too. Sometimes they don't go on straight when you release. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're all connected. Now, what we can do is get the car off the ramps. But first off, I need to get the water pump off, which I'll have this in a separate video. The water pump, which is located right here. You really don't need to remove the upper hose, but for easier access, removing the upper hose will work. But I will be doing this in another video because I'm changing the gasket on it and stuff. Because that's what you definitely want to do when you do a radiator. You always want to get in there and redo your O-ring on your water pump. But thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment any questions below. Thank you again. And if it's broke, fix it.